Hi, my name is Chris Long and I'm a visual artist. I'm very happy to be here today and thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this wonderful um, art show and be part of this festival. I'm Canadian and I was born in Ottawa and I've moved 28 times, both in Canada and in the UK. I was trained as a Greek archaeologist, but I also went into the business world for a while and then into the not-for-profit world, where I helped women and families adjust to being new parents. And I also dealt with mood disorders related to being a new parent. Along the way, and through all those different moves, I got to meet really interesting and exciting people. I was exposed to a tremendous amount of culture and art, archaeology, which I absolutely loved, and that's why I went into it. Um, but it was fascinating to me. So as a result, um, in my life now, I have an art group called Art Trends, and we have a group of people who come from a whole variety of cultures and different countries, and I'll tell you a bit about that later on. But I've also been asked to tell you a little bit about my story and how I came to art. So, after working in the not for profit for quite a few years, I got very sick in about 2004. I got hit with a form of MS, and it really struck me kind of like a stroke. So I was paralyzed down one side, down my right side, which is my dominant side. So I couldn't see, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, and it hit within 3 days. So I was in the hospital. Um, my husband didn't know if I was going to come out alive. I didn't know if I was going to come out alive. We didn't know if I was going to come out a vegetable. So it took a long time. Really, it took 5 years for me to learn how to walk and talk and see all over again. I still don't see properly. I still don't quite walk properly, but it took a lot of work. And I had a wonderful family. I had a great church family. I had wonderful friends. I had great people praying for me. But along that path, I also knew that the brain was plastic. So that means that I knew that if I did something that I had never done before, which was art, I could rewire my brain. I could make new pathways around the areas of the brain that had been damaged. So I was exposed to some art therapy in the rehab where I was going at the time. And I thought, well, I'd never done it before, but I came from a long line of artists. So I couldn't use my right hand, and I knew that I was going to have to use my left to get on with life, to make my signature, to do whatever I was going to do, to cook, to pick up cups, whatever I was going to do with it, because my right arm flew everywhere. So I also thought maybe I could use this to kind of gain control of my right arm again, which I used to have to grab with my left in order to control. So using art therapy also started to kind of rewire those areas of my brain that had been damaged. So while I was also working out in the gym and learning how to regain my balance and some of my eyesight, I started to do art. And I met a wonderful art teacher who is now a really good friend and part of our art group. So at the same time, my cousin, Linda Blix, who was a great art teacher and a printmaker, was teaching up at the Halliburton School of Art. And she was teaching a non-toxic way of printmaking. And she invited me to come up to the Halliburton School. And she told me that if I liked color and if I could paint like a 5-year-old, I would like her style of printmaking. So I went up there with a friend for a week, and we had a ball. We rented a cottage and we just simply went up and played. And I loved the colors. And I went on from there to become an artist. So this is one of the pieces that I created up there. And this is a piece that reminded me of all the traveling I did with my family. Because on the weekends, my parents would put us all in the car and we would go house hunting. And we would go traveling and seeing every place in the cities that we would be visiting or living in. My parents would take us to see museums and art galleries. And in Ottawa, believe it or not, they would take us to the Sewage Works, which is actually a site where tourists go and see. So I know it sounds weird, but that's what they did. My parents were from the prairies. My dad was from small town prairies, where you just go and see everything on the map because there's nothing else to do. But we saw everything. So this is the ups and downs and hills and valleys. But my parents would take us house hunting every weekend to see what was out there. So this was my idea of ups and downs and roads and traveling.